So something that could change potentially your view. I'm curious, your colleagues actually just posted the slide about the 2024 election. It's an election year. Jeff Weniger threw up the slide going back to the 40s, talking about when an incumbent runs for re-election. You really don't, obviously it's a very small sample size. You've had positive years since the 40s every time this has happened. Do you bring politics and election years into any of your forecasts?
Not really. I mean, there's people watch it. There's fun to talk about. There's another seasonal chart that goes around. I was just looking at this morning. Was in the quarters, like the Q1 of these 4-year cycles of the fourth year of the presidential cycle is the weakest, and then the last 3 quarters, the second quarter is the best. All these are sort of interesting seasonal time periods people talk about. I do think this is the year where we're going to be focused on the Fed to focus on geopolitics. And, we're coming off of just the Taiwan election. I mean, that you talk about an election that can have big implications and consequences is, the regional conflict. We have the Russia-Ukraine dynamics, and there's like, well, will they have a ceasefire? Will they have a resolution in Europe? That's very top of mind. Obviously, we have all this stuff going on in the Middle East, and that's certainly one of the open question marks is, will they keep disrupting these supply chains, and will that cause some inflationary pressure and just slowdowns because things all, they have to start rerouting all the ships that going through the Suez Canal and the Red Sea. That's a source of risk. But the China-Taiwan issue is one of the big issues, and they sort of re-elected the current DPP party, which is a little bit more pro-independence party, and that obviously doesn't make Beijing and Xi Jinping happy. Now the question is like, what are the long-term implications of that? China keeps saying they're going to reunify Taiwan, and what is the U.S. role in all of that? To the extent that we have our election later and we have different policies on all these issues, that's going to be one of the big open questions, is this conflict with China over time. And, the interconnectedness of China into the global economy can't be understated. So I think it'll be fascinating. That's, to me, the big wild card of all the geopolitics is what's going on, U.S., China, Taiwan, how that all plays out. And I think, we don't think there's a war risk today, but those sort of long-term tension is there. And certainly there is a risk of things escalating at some point in time.